Some of the most challenging battles we face are the ones that no one else can see, the struggles inside our own minds, the quiet wars against doubt, fear, frustration, and sometimes even despair. We all face moments where life feels heavy, like the weight of the world is pushing down on us. But what if I told you that you have the power to overcome these inner battles, no matter how fierce they feel? What if you could build a mindset so strong, so resilient, that no matter what life throws your way, you could stand firm? This is exactly what Stoicism teaches us, the art of not just surviving but thriving, no matter the chaos or hardship around us. It's about transforming our struggles into stepping stones, about using every challenge to strengthen the mind and spirit. Stoic philosophers knew that true power doesn't come from external circumstances, but from mastering the thoughts that shape our experience. And today, we're going to dive deep into how you can build that kind of unshakable mindset, one thought at a time. If you're ready to change the way you think, embrace your challenges as opportunities, and build a mindset that can handle anything life throws at you, please subscribe. This is about taking a step toward personal growth, deeper self-awareness, and a life rooted in purpose. Let's get started. Before we dive into how to build an unshakable mindset, let's pause for a moment and reflect on one simple but powerful truth. Your mind shapes your reality. It's easy to think that the world around us, the people in our lives, or the circumstances we find ourselves in are the things that truly define our experiences. But in reality, it's not those external factors that have the final say. It's how we perceive them. How we interpret the world around us is what determines how we feel, how we react, and ultimately, the quality of our lives. The Stoics understood this deeply, especially Marcus Aurelius, who often reminded himself that we are disturbed not by events, but by our interpretations of those events. Take a moment and think back to the last time you felt defeated. It could have been a failure at work, a missed opportunity, or even a personal setback. Now, ask yourself, was it really the event itself that broke you, or was it your perception of it? Often, it's not the event that has the power to drag us down, but the way we interpret it. That shift in perception is the key to unlocking the power within us to face challenges with strength and clarity. If we can change how we look at difficulties, we can change how we respond to them, and in doing so, begin to build that mental fortress that will protect us from the storms life throws our way. It's crucial to recognize that everything we experience is filtered through the lens of our thoughts. If our thoughts are clouded with negativity or self-doubt, the world will appear dark and overwhelming. But if we train ourselves to see challenges as opportunities for growth, we begin to shift the balance of power. Instead of feeling like a victim of our circumstances, we realize that we have the power to choose how we react, no matter what life presents. This is the essence of what the Stoics taught. Our power lies not in controlling what happens to us, but in controlling how we choose to interpret and respond to those events. Think about it. If you're in a tough situation, you can either choose to see it as an insurmountable obstacle or as a stepping stone for personal growth. One mindset leads to feelings of helplessness, while the other opens up the possibility for learning and improvement. This is where the real power lies. By shifting your perspective, you begin to see opportunities where others see only problems. This is the first step toward building an unshakable mindset. When you start changing how you view the world, you start changing your relationship with it. Instead of seeing yourself as a victim of circumstances, you begin to see yourself as someone capable of overcoming anything simply by adjusting how you perceive the situation. Now, this isn't to say that changing your perspective is easy. It takes practice, awareness, and commitment. But the first step is simply recognizing that your thoughts shape your reality. This awareness alone is empowering. It gives you the ability to step outside of your emotional reactions and take a more measured, thoughtful approach to life's challenges. When you feel frustration, anger, or sadness rising, instead of letting these emotions control you, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, what am I really reacting to? Is it the event itself, or how I'm choosing to see it? This simple question can completely change your approach to any situation. In fact, the more we practice this shift in perception, the more natural it becomes. Over time, our minds start to default to a mindset that sees challenges as opportunities rather than obstacles. We begin to recognize that we don't need external circumstances to change in order to feel peace, contentment, or success. Instead, we realize that we can cultivate those feelings internally by changing how we respond to life's inevitable difficulties. This is the heart of building a strong, resilient mindset, recognizing that we are in control of how we interpret the world and, therefore, how we experience it. When you start viewing the world through this lens, everything changes. The next time you face a challenge, instead of feeling overwhelmed, you can ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow through this experience? With this shift, you begin to unlock your true potential. You no longer see obstacles as threats, but as stepping stones that help you evolve into a stronger, wiser version of yourself. This is the foundation of building an unshakable mindset, the recognition that you have the power to control your thoughts, and in doing so, control your reality. So, the first step in building a mindset that can withstand anything life throws your way is simple. Recognize the power of your mind. Acknowledge that how you perceive the world shapes your reality, and that your thoughts are the lens through which you experience everything. With this awareness, you can begin to change your mindset, transforming challenges into opportunities and setbacks into lessons. This shift in perception is the first step on the path to mental resilience. It's not about what happens to you, it's about how you choose to respond. And that choice is always yours. Rejection, it stings, doesn't it? That moment when you put yourself out there only to face the cold, hard truth that someone doesn't want what you have to offer. It's uncomfortable, it's painful, and it's tempting to see it as a personal failure. But what if I told you that rejection doesn't have to be a defeat? What if instead it could be an invitation to grow? What if rejection was, in fact, one of the most powerful tools you have to build a stronger mindset? When you begin to see rejection through this lens, it stops being something that crushes you. Instead, it becomes a tool to strengthen your mindset. It's like lifting weights at the gym. At first, it's hard. You struggle, and the weight feels unbearable. But over time, your muscles adapt, grow stronger, and what once felt heavy becomes lighter. Rejection works the same way. The more you face it, the stronger your resilience becomes. The more you push through it, the more you realize that no matter how many no's you receive, they don't define you. In fact, they're shaping you into someone capable of handling much bigger challenges in the future. Think about the greatest minds in history, the innovators, the creators, the leaders. They didn't get to where they are by avoiding rejection. They faced it head-on, time and time again. Thomas Edison, for instance, failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb, and yet he didn't see his failures as reasons to give up. Instead, he saw them as lessons, as opportunities to learn and grow. "I have not failed," Edison famously said. "I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That mindset, that refusal to be defined by rejection, is what ultimately led him to success. And it's not just inventors and entrepreneurs who face rejection. We all do, in different forms. Whether it's a job application that gets rejected, a relationship that falls apart, or a dream that seems out of reach, rejection is part of the human experience. The question is, how will you respond? Will you let it break you, or will you use it as fuel to become stronger? The Stoics believed that true strength doesn't come from avoiding hardship. It comes from embracing it, from learning how to stand firm in the face of it. In fact, the more you face rejection, the more you realize that it's not rejection that defines you. It's your response to it. When you approach rejection with a Stoic mindset, it becomes clear that each no is just another step in the journey. It's not a failure, it's a redirection. It's an opportunity to adjust your approach, to refine your vision, and to try again with more wisdom and more clarity. And when you approach rejection with this mindset, you'll find that it no longer has the power to hold you back. It doesn't matter how many times you're told no. It doesn't matter how many doors close in your face. What matters is how you respond. Will you allow it to define you, or will you take the lesson, grow from it, and keep moving forward? Because, as the Stoics teach us, the only thing we can control is our reaction. And if we can learn to control that, then no setback, no rejection, no failure will ever be able to stop us. So, the next time you face rejection, remember this. It's not the rejection itself that matters, it's what you do with it. Embrace it. Use it as a tool for growth. Let it strengthen your resilience, sharpen your courage, and deepen your resolve. And most importantly, remember that the greatest minds throughout history weren't built on success alone. They were forged in the fires of rejection. So, take the challenge, face it head-on, and let it make you stronger. Resilience is one of those qualities we all admire in others. But how often do we stop to think about how we can develop it ourselves? The truth is, resilience isn't something that magically appears during tough times. It's something that's built through the very challenges we face. The most resilient people aren't those who avoid hardship, but those who embrace it, learn from it, and use it to become stronger. Think about it. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to prove your mental strength, to show yourself that you can not only survive tough situations, but thrive because of them. Now take a moment and think back to a time in your life when you felt truly overwhelmed by a problem. Maybe it was something at work, in your personal life, or a goal you were struggling to achieve. How did you handle it? Did you feel crushed under the weight of it? The Stoics, those ancient philosophers who mastered the art of resilience, would ask you to do something very simple in that moment. Change how you see the problem. They didn't believe in avoiding difficulty or pretending that pain doesn't exist. Instead, they taught us to change our perspective, to look at every challenge as an opportunity for growth. Rather than asking, "Why is this happening to me?" the Stoics would suggest you ask, "What can I learn from this?" This shift in mindset is key to building true resilience. It's not about pretending that the pain or difficulty isn't real. It's about recognizing that while you can't always control what happens to you, you can control how you respond. When you start seeing each challenge as a stepping stone rather than an obstacle, you begin to build the mental strength to face even greater challenges. In fact, the Stoics would argue that it's precisely through facing adversity that we develop our most valuable virtues: wisdom, courage, and perseverance. Let's pause for a moment. Imagine you're going through a rough patch. A relationship falls apart, a job slips through your fingers, or you fail at something you care about deeply. It's natural to feel down or discouraged. But now, instead of letting those feelings define you, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? In every failure or setback, there's something to be gained. The Stoics believed that even when life throws us off track, we can choose to learn from the experience, adapt, and move forward with more wisdom. This is the essence of resilience, the ability to recover, to keep going, and to emerge stronger than before. Carl Jung also spoke to the power of embracing adversity. He famously said, "I am not what happened to me, I am what I choose to become." This is the heart of resilience. It's about choosing how to respond to the challenges life throws at us. Jung understood that our circumstances do not define us. Our reactions to those circumstances do. In other words, we have the power to shape our future by how we deal with our present struggles. When we embrace life's challenges with this mindset, we don't just survive. We grow, evolve, and become more of who we were meant to be. The Stoics, particularly Marcus Aurelius, also believed that it's our response to pain and adversity that defines our character. He wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This means that obstacles are not just things that stand in our way, they are opportunities to practice virtue. Each time you encounter a challenge, you have the chance to act with wisdom, patience, and fortitude. These virtues are not developed by avoiding difficulty, they are developed by facing it head-on, by choosing how you respond when life becomes difficult. It's easy to look at someone who's resilient and think that they must have some secret formula for success, that they've somehow managed to avoid life's hardships. But the truth is, resilient people aren't those who avoid difficulties. They're the ones who've learned to embrace them. They know that life's challenges are inevitable, and they've made a conscious choice to approach each one as an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more capable. In that sense, resilience isn't a personality trait that some people are born with. It's a skill that can be cultivated through practice and perseverance. Resilience isn't just about bouncing back from adversity. It's about learning to thrive in the face of it. The more you embrace life's challenges, the more you develop the mental toughness to face even greater challenges down the road. And remember, it's not about pretending that the difficulties aren't real. It's about choosing how to respond to them. Life won't always be easy. You'll face setbacks, failures, and heartaches. But if you choose to see each of these moments as opportunities to grow, you'll find that your resilience becomes unshakable. In the end, resilience is not just about enduring hardships, it's about transforming them. It's about finding strength in adversity and using that strength to propel yourself forward. The Stoics believed that everything, every obstacle, every setback, every hardship is a chance for us to build character. When you change your mindset and embrace life's challenges with this perspective, you'll discover that resilience isn't something you have to strive for. It's something that becomes a natural part of who you are. So the next time life presents a challenge, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? And let that question guide you toward greater resilience and growth. Here's a fundamental truth that we often forget. You can't control everything. There will always be things outside your control, other people's actions, the uncertainty of the future, the random events that can shake your world when you least expect it. These things are a part of life, and no matter how hard you try, you won't be able to stop them from happening. But here's the catch. There's one thing you always have control over, no matter the situation: how you react. It's a powerful realization when you truly understand it. Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters." That quote holds so much weight. Think about it. How many times have you been in a difficult situation, something out of your control, and felt completely powerless? The truth is, in those moments, the only real power you have is your reaction. You can't change the situation, but you can choose how to respond to it. That's where your strength lies. When you shift your focus to what you can control, your actions, your responses, your thoughts, you start to build mental armor. You begin to strengthen the part of you that's untouchable, the part of you that can weather any storm life throws your way. Imagine for a moment, when something happens that shakes your world, instead of letting it spiral into a wave of anxiety or frustration, you pause, you take a breath, you choose your response. You recognize that while you can't control the external world, you can always control how you engage with it. That's the foundation of resilience. It's in those moments of choice where your mental fortitude is truly built. This approach doesn't mean you're turning a blind eye to life's difficulties. It doesn't mean that you're pretending nothing is wrong. Instead, it's about recognizing that life will throw curveballs, unexpected challenges, unfair situations, loss, and that while we can't change the facts, we can control how we meet them. It's about choosing to be the calm in the storm rather than being overwhelmed by it. The Stoics believed that we should focus on the things we can change and let go of what we can't. They knew that anxiety often comes from trying to control the uncontrollable. For example, you can't control how people treat you, but you can control how you treat them. You can't control what the future holds, but you can control how you prepare for it. When you recognize the limits of your control, you free yourself from unnecessary worry, and in that space, you find peace. This practice of focusing on what you can control isn't just about mental strength, it's about emotional freedom. When we stop stressing about everything outside our control, we make room for more focus on what matters. This doesn't mean we ignore our emotions, but we learn not to let them rule us. We learn that while it's okay to feel frustrated or sad or angry, those emotions don't have to dictate our responses. This awareness brings clarity, and clarity brings power. The key to living this way is cultivating awareness. When life throws challenges your way, stop and ask yourself, what can I control in this moment? It could be something as simple as choosing to stay calm when someone cuts you off in traffic. Or maybe it's taking responsibility for your actions when things don't go as planned. What matters is that no matter the circumstance, you always have the ability to choose how you respond. This practice isn't always easy. It takes time and it takes work. But the more you practice it, the more natural it becomes. The more you focus on what you can control, the more you begin to see that you have the strength to handle any situation, no matter how difficult. In those moments of tension, when everything inside you is screaming to react, practice self-control. Instead of letting your emotions control your actions, take a step back, pause for a moment. In that brief silence, ask yourself, what would my best self do in this moment? It's a simple question, but it can be a game changer. It's about building a habit of reflection, where you don't just react impulsively, but choose your response with intention. This practice, although challenging, allows you to face any situation with a sense of calmness and clarity, rather than being swept away by your emotions. Epictetus put it simply, "We are not disturbed by what happens to us, but by our thoughts about what happens." This is the essence of self-control. It's not about what the world throws at us, but about how we frame those experiences. By developing the ability to pause and reflect before reacting, you shift from being a victim of circumstances to being the master of your own responses. This might seem like a small thing, but over time, it builds a resilience that allows you to handle life's challenges with grace and poise. Self-control is often misunderstood as merely resisting temptations or holding back desires. But in the Stoic sense, it's much deeper than that. It's about recognizing that our emotions, though natural, don't have to dictate our actions. It's about learning to separate ourselves from the flood of thoughts and feelings that arise in challenging situations. In doing so, we gain the space to act according to our values, not just our impulses. This kind of self-mastery is what allows us to stay focused on what truly matters, even when the world around us is chaotic. We all know that life doesn't always go according to plan. Things don't always work out the way we expect, and often people's actions or circumstances can throw us off course. But when you practice self-control, you don't let those external events control your inner peace. Instead, you choose how to engage with the world around you. Whether it's dealing with a frustrating colleague, navigating a stressful situation, or simply managing your own doubts and fears, self-control allows you to maintain your center. It gives you the clarity to respond thoughtfully, not just reactively. This ability to choose your response is something that can be developed over time. It's a muscle that grows stronger with practice. Every time you find yourself on the verge of reacting emotionally, take a step back. In that moment, ask yourself, what is the best way to respond? It doesn't mean suppressing your feelings. It means acknowledging them without letting them take over your actions. For example, when anger arises, you can choose to express yourself calmly instead of letting the anger dictate your words. When frustration strikes, you can choose to take a deep breath and refocus, rather than letting it control your behavior. By building this habit of self-control, you create a buffer between your emotions and your actions. This buffer gives you the space to respond with wisdom, patience, and clarity, rather than getting lost in the heat of the moment. The Stoics believed that by mastering our emotions, we can achieve a kind of freedom from being ruled by our impulses, and freedom to act in accordance with our highest ideals. Self-control isn't just about individual challenges, it's about how you engage with the world at large. It's about how you handle disappointments, how you navigate setbacks, and how you stay true to your values when the world tries to pull you in different directions. In a world that often prioritizes instant gratification and quick fixes, practicing self-control is a radical act of self-discipline. It's about rejecting the notion that we need to react to every impulse, every desire, every fleeting emotion. Instead, it's about choosing to act with intention, to align our actions with our purpose, and to live in a way that reflects our best selves. The more you practice this kind of self-control, the more you realize that you're not at the mercy of your emotions or the circumstances around you. You begin to understand that you have the power to decide how you show up in the world, no matter what's happening around you. This is the true power of self-control. It gives you the ability to shape your experience, to choose your response, and to live in alignment with your values. So, next time you're faced with a situation that triggers a strong reaction, remember this: pause, reflect, and choose. Ask yourself what your best self would do in that moment, and use that as your guide. Over time, this simple practice will build a resilience that no external situation can shake. It will give you the strength to face any challenge with calm, clarity, and unwavering purpose. This is the power of self-control, the ability to steer your own ship, no matter how rough the seas may get. When life feels like it's spinning out of control, it's easy to get caught up in the small frustrations of the moment. Maybe it's the endless emails, the traffic, or the unexpected curveballs that seem to derail your day. But here's the thing: these are just blips on the radar. They're temporary. Yet, in the chaos of daily life, it's easy to lose sight of the bigger picture, to focus so heavily on the immediate that you forget about the long term. The Stoics, however, had a different perspective. They believed that the key to maintaining peace of mind is to zoom out and focus on the larger journey. The Stoics taught us that life isn't about winning the small battles, it's about the long-term journey. And what does this mean for you? It means that when you feel overwhelmed, when the short-term struggles seem insurmountable, you need to shift your focus to the bigger picture. Life's long-term goals are like a compass. They help you navigate through the stormy days, providing you with a clear direction, even when the winds are strong. You don't let the noise of the present moment drown out the vision of where you're headed. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the brevity of life and the importance of focusing on what truly matters. He once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." It's in those moments of struggle when you can practice this wisdom. Instead of getting caught in the whirlwind of the current moment, remember that this is just one step on your journey. The frustration you feel today is a temporary part of a much bigger process. By focusing on your long-term goals, you keep your mind anchored in a place of clarity and purpose, no matter how tough things get. This is where the power of perspective comes into play. When you view the world through the lens of long-term goals, you are no longer reacting impulsively to every small setback. Instead, you're taking a step back and asking yourself, what can I learn from this? It's about making decisions based on where you want to be in the future, not just on the immediate circumstances. This mindset shift is incredibly powerful because it allows you to move through life with intention rather than being swept away by the current. The key to staying on track with long-term goals is to break them down into manageable steps. It's easy to look at the big picture and feel overwhelmed by the enormity of it all, but when you focus on what you can do today to move closer to that vision, it makes the journey less daunting. Each small action you take is like a brick in the foundation of your future, and over time, those small steps accumulate into something far greater than you could have imagined. This is how consistency builds success. When you start seeing your daily actions as part of a larger purpose, you begin to approach life with more clarity and calm. Instead of getting bogged down by the little inconveniences, you realize that they don't define your journey. What defines your journey is your commitment to your goals, your resilience in the face of obstacles, and your ability to stay focused on the bigger picture. In those moments when things aren't going according to plan, remind yourself that setbacks are simply part of the process. They are not the end, they are the beginning of a new chapter. As you continue on your journey, it's important to remember that this is your life and you are the one steering the ship. The Stoics believed in personal responsibility, and when you take responsibility for your own path, you empower yourself to create the life you want. Every decision you make, no matter how small, moves you closer to the person you aspire to become. So, the next time you feel overwhelmed by the present moment, remember to step back and focus on the long-term vision. Keep your eyes on the destination and trust that every small step is getting you closer to where you want to be. By shifting your focus to the long term, you gain control over your journey. The distractions of the present will always be there, but when you have a clear vision of where you're going, they become less significant. Keep your eyes on the prize and let that vision guide you through the stormy days. Your long-term goals are not just dreams, they are the roadmaps that lead you to your greatest potential. With patience, persistence, and a clear sense of direction, you can navigate life's challenges with purpose and resilience. Keep going and remember, the journey is just as important as the destination. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the decision to move forward despite it. It's easy to think of courage as something reserved for heroes or grand moments in life. But the Stoics taught us that true courage is found not in the absence of fear, but in how we respond to it. Fear is a natural part of being human. It's something we all feel, whether we're about to take on a big challenge, face a difficult conversation, or even just step into the unknown. But courage isn't about not feeling afraid. It's about feeling that fear and choosing to act anyway. The Stoics understood this deeply. They believed that every time you face your fear and push through it, you become stronger. It's not about avoiding fear or pretending it doesn't exist. It's about recognizing it and still choosing to move forward. Think about it for a moment. What are you afraid of right now? It could be something as simple as speaking up in a meeting, confronting someone about an issue, or taking a leap in your career. These fears can feel heavy, overwhelming even, but it's important to remember that they don't define us. It's not the fear itself that holds power over us. It's our response to it. When we choose to face our fears, to walk into that discomfort with courage, we take back the control that fear tries to rob from us. And as the Stoics would remind us, fear is not something to run away from. It's an opportunity to grow. Courage allows us to face those difficult moments with strength. It's the inner resolve to push forward, even when the outcome is uncertain, even when it's easier to stay where we are, in our comfort zones. Every time you face a fear, no matter how small, you build resilience. Each time you choose courage, you fortify your mental strength, preparing yourself for the next challenge. This is a core principle of Stoic philosophy. It's easy to be consumed by fear, especially when the stakes feel high. Maybe you're scared of failing or afraid of what others will think. These fears can create a paralyzing hesitation that holds you back. But what if you shifted your perspective on fear itself? Instead of seeing it as a roadblock, imagine it as a signal, an indicator that you're on the verge of something meaningful, something that could push you forward in life. When you feel fear, instead of avoiding it, ask yourself, what is this fear telling me? What can I learn from it? Fear has a funny way of revealing the things that matter most to us. It's a sign that you're challenging yourself, stepping outside of what's familiar and striving for growth. That's where true courage lies. The more we face fear, the more we realize that it's not as terrifying as we initially believed. We give it power by avoiding it, by letting it dictate our choices. But when we stand in the face of fear, we see that it doesn't have to control us. Instead, we control it. This doesn't mean fear will disappear. It will always be there in some form. But with courage, we learn to walk with it, rather than be overwhelmed by it. And with each step, we grow more capable of handling whatever comes next. That's how resilience is built, not by avoiding challenges, but by facing them head-on and refusing to back down. In many ways, courage is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. When you're constantly avoiding discomfort, you're not exercising your courage. But when you push through fear, when you choose to act despite your hesitation, you're strengthening your resilience. Over time, this practice builds mental toughness. The next time a challenge arises, you won't hesitate as much. You'll know from experience that you've faced fears before and emerged stronger, and you can do it again. This is what the Stoics understood. True strength is built in the struggle, not in avoiding it. So ask yourself again, what's holding you back? What's the fear that's keeping you from moving forward? It's time to face it, not as a threat, but as an opportunity. The more you confront your fears, the more you'll discover that you're capable of far more than you imagined. Courage is not about being fearless, it's about choosing to act despite fear. It's about developing the inner strength to keep moving forward, no matter what life throws your way. Every challenge, every moment of fear is a chance to build that strength, to fortify your resilience, and to show yourself just how much you are capable of. Every day offers a chance to strengthen your mental muscles. It starts with the habits you create and the routines you follow. One of the best ways to train your mind is through Stoic reflection. Take a moment in the morning to pause, breathe, and reflect on the day ahead. What challenges might you face? How will you respond to them? This practice isn't just about preparing for the good days, it's about equipping yourself for the hard ones. The Stoics didn't shy away from challenges, they embraced them. They understood that adversity is where true growth happens. By acknowledging potential difficulties before they arise, you allow yourself to meet them with a sense of calm and clarity rather than fear or anxiety. It's about creating a mindset where you see obstacles as opportunities for growth, not as roadblocks that stop you in your tracks. Mindfulness is another tool that can help you strengthen your mental resilience. Being mindful means being aware of your thoughts, emotions, and reactions in the moment, without judgment. It means observing your mind instead of letting it control you. For instance, when something stressful happens, instead of reacting immediately, take a moment to breathe and observe. What are you feeling? Why are you feeling this way? What's driving your thoughts and reactions? By pausing and reflecting, you gain control over your emotional responses, allowing you to choose how you react rather than being swept away by impulses. This practice takes time and discipline, but over time, it will help you develop a deeper understanding of yourself, your triggers, and how to manage them effectively. Journaling is another powerful practice for mental training. Writing down your thoughts and emotions is a great way to release mental tension and gain clarity. It gives you the space to explore your inner world and reflect on your experiences. This practice doesn't have to be long or complicated. It could be as simple as jotting down how you're feeling at the start or end of each day. What challenges did you face? How did you respond? What could you have done differently? The Stoics often wrote about their thoughts in their journals, and in doing so, they gained wisdom, perspective, and a greater understanding of themselves. This habit of daily reflection helps you build mental strength because it forces you to confront your thoughts and feelings rather than avoid them. Engaging with content that strengthens your mind is also an important part of mental training. Just like you wouldn't go to the gym and only lift weights that are too light, you shouldn't only consume content that reinforces your existing beliefs or comforts you. Instead, seek out ideas that challenge you, that make you think differently, and that push you to grow. This could be reading philosophy, listening to podcasts about personal development, or engaging in thoughtful discussions with others. Every bit of knowledge you consume is like adding weight to your mental barbell, making you stronger, more resilient, and more capable of navigating life's challenges. Mental fitness, just like physical fitness, doesn't happen overnight. It's something that takes consistent effort, day in and day out. But just as you start to see results from your physical workouts after a few weeks of dedication, you will start to see the results of your mental training. At first, the changes might be small. You might not notice it right away, but as time goes on, you'll begin to see a stronger, more resilient mind emerge. You'll find that you handle stress better, you're less reactive, and you're able to face challenges with greater ease. This is the power of consistent mental training. Over time, you'll build the strength to handle whatever life throws your way. Just like physical fitness, mental fitness is a lifelong journey. There will always be room to grow and improve, and every day presents a new opportunity to strengthen your mind. But the key is to show up consistently and put in the work. If you want to build resilience, you have to commit to daily mental training, whether it's through Stoic reflection, mindfulness, journaling, or consuming content that pushes you to think and grow. By making these practices part of your routine, you'll develop the mental toughness to not only survive life's challenges, but to thrive in the face of them. The journey won't be easy, but it will be worth it. With every day you invest in your mental fitness, you'll become a stronger, more resilient version of yourself. Perfectionism is something we all grapple with, often without even realizing how much it holds us back. We aim for flawless execution, thinking that the only way to succeed is to get everything right. But here's the truth. Perfectionism is a trap. It keeps you stuck in a constant loop of self-doubt and procrastination, never allowing you to move forward. The Stoics, with their focus on living in alignment with nature, understood this deeply. They believed that perfection was an illusion, a false idea that only paralyzes us. What they valued instead was progress, not perfection. Progress. When you look at life through the lens of perfectionism, everything becomes about getting it right, being flawless, and avoiding mistakes at all costs. But the reality is, mistakes are essential for growth. They are not failures, they are lessons. In other words, the challenges, the imperfections, the setbacks, they're not the things that stop us. They're the very things that teach us and push us forward. So when we make a mistake, we shouldn't fall into despair or frustration. Instead, we should embrace it as part of the process, knowing it's helping us build resilience and wisdom. It's easy to see imperfection as something to avoid, but what if we reframe it? What if we saw imperfection not as something to fear, but as a stepping stone to something greater? Every time you choose to take action, despite not having everything perfect, you're reinforcing the idea that progress is what matters. With each step, however small, you're moving closer to the person you want to become. Perfection, on the other hand, can paralyze you, leaving you stuck in an endless cycle of second-guessing and overthinking. So, how do we let go of perfectionism? First, we need to start accepting that good enough is good enough. This doesn't mean lowering your standards or settling for mediocrity. It's about recognizing that waiting for the perfect conditions to act will only keep you from making progress. Perfection is unattainable, and the sooner we let go of this impossible standard, the sooner we can start achieving real progress. It's a mindset shift. Instead of focusing on flawless execution, we focus on consistent improvement. The key is not to be perfect, but to be better than you were yesterday. Take action, even if you're not 100% ready. Start that project, have that conversation, make that decision. Do it imperfectly, but do it. In fact, doing something imperfectly is often better than not doing anything at all. The more we wait for everything to fall into place, the more we delay the very things that can help us grow. Progress doesn't come from sitting back and waiting for the ideal moment. It comes from showing up, making mistakes, and learning from them. Another essential part of this journey is letting go of the need for approval. Perfectionism often stems from a deep desire to be validated by others, to be seen as flawless in their eyes. But true growth comes from within. When you stop seeking approval and start embracing your own progress, the pressure to be perfect fades away. You begin to take pride in your efforts, not in how others perceive them. When you shift your focus inward, your self-worth no longer depends on external validation. It's about being proud of the progress you've made, regardless of how small it seems. Embracing imperfection is liberating. It frees you from the constant stress of trying to meet unattainable standards. It allows you to take risks, to experiment, to fail and learn. And through this process, you build not only resilience, but also confidence. When you stop expecting perfection, you begin to trust yourself more. You start believing that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way, even if things don't go as planned. The next time you catch yourself falling into the trap of perfectionism, pause. Ask yourself, what is the next small step I can take toward my goal? Don't get bogged down by the fear of not being perfect. Instead, focus on making steady progress. Remember, each step forward, no matter how imperfect, is a victory. And as you continue to take those steps, you'll realize that perfection was never the goal. The goal was always growth, learning, and becoming the best version of yourself. So, let go of the need to be perfect. Instead, embrace progress and celebrate every imperfect step along the way. Perfectionism is not a path to success. It's a path to self-sabotage. By letting go of the need to be perfect, you open the door to true progress. It's time to stop waiting for everything to be just right and start making moves, imperfectly but boldly. Let that be your mantra. Good enough is good enough. When we think about legacy, most of us immediately picture the things we leave behind, the wealth we've accumulated, the positions we've held, or the material possessions we've acquired. We look at these external achievements as markers of success. But what if I told you that true legacy isn't built on what you have, but on who you become? The Stoics understood that a meaningful life is not measured by outward success, but by the virtues we embody every single day. Imagine for a moment that your life was a story. What would you want the last chapter to say? What kind of impact would you have made on the world? These aren't just hypothetical questions. They are fundamental to how we live day to day. The choices we make, the way we treat others, the principles we live by, these are the things that create lasting influence. The Stoics believed that the essence of life lay in the pursuit of virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline. These were their pillars. They didn't focus on fleeting accomplishments or external validation. Instead, they focused on cultivating inner strength and moral integrity. In their eyes, true success came from living in alignment with these virtues, no matter the circumstances. Think about the last time you faced a difficult decision. What did you rely on to guide you? Was it your fear of failure, your desire for approval, or did you lean into your virtues, your sense of right and wrong, your ability to stand firm despite challenges? The Stoics would say that your true strength lies in your ability to choose what's right, regardless of external pressure. That's what makes your legacy matter. It's not about how much you've achieved in terms of wealth or status. It's about how you've influenced those around you by the way you lived and the character you displayed. One of the most powerful lessons the Stoics taught was that we can't control the world around us. We can't control what other people think or how they act. We can't predict the future or change the past. But we can control our actions, our responses, and our commitment to living virtuously. This is where true freedom lies. When you make choices based on your principles, whether it's in your work, your relationships, or your personal growth, you are living in accordance with your values, and that is the foundation of a meaningful legacy. Carl Jung put it this way: the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. By becoming the person you want to be, by living with integrity and purpose, you are already building the legacy that will last far beyond your time. Now, consider your daily life. What kind of decisions are you making that reflect your values? Are you choosing what's easy, or are you choosing what's right? Each action, no matter how small, contributes to the person you are becoming and the legacy you will leave. When you choose courage over fear, justice over convenience, and wisdom over impulse, you are living a life that speaks to your core principles. This is what the Stoics believed was the true measure of success. It's not about external accolades or achievements. It's about the internal peace and strength that comes from living virtuously. Living virtuously doesn't mean you'll never face hardship or struggle. In fact, the Stoics believed that life's difficulties were opportunities to practice and strengthen our virtues. It's through adversity that we develop resilience, courage, and wisdom. When we choose to act with integrity, even when it's hard, we are shaping our legacy in ways that transcend the moment. Every challenge we face is an opportunity to reaffirm our commitment to virtue and leave a lasting mark on the world. As we wrap up, remember this: the legacy you build isn't just about the things you achieve, it's about the person you become. Every choice, every action, no matter how small, leaves an imprint. So, live with purpose, live with virtue, and let your life be the legacy you want to leave behind. If this resonated with you, don't stop here. There's always more to learn and grow from. Check out the suggested video on the screen and continue your journey toward a life of meaning and wisdom. Thank you